One of the reasons I will never go back and forth with anyone on the internet about vintage pricing, the cost of vintage, is because I understand the components that go into it. This morning, I was researching things about Janet Jackson because she came up on my playlist, and somehow I stumbled upon this auction from Julian's in 2021. The outfit that Janet Jackson wore in her Love Will Never Do Without You video sold for $25,000. It is a simple pair of distressed jeans and a black crop top. Now, before we get into why on earth someone would pay $25,000 for this, let's talk about the essence and provenance of Janet Jackson in this time period. Janet Jackson, during her Rhythm Nation album drop, wore things where she was buttoned all the way to the top. It was super fly. Ooh, this is so hard. But it was very conservative. He sent shockwaves. I mean, this was a cultural shift, especially during the MTV era when she came on that screen with this tank top, baby. The thing is, they didn't know that Janet Jackson had all this body, yaddy. Like, this outfit in this video solidified her as a sensual sex pot, sex kitten, and a real beauty. Now, for a lot of people, they'd be like, that still does not mean that this outfit should have been $25,000. It is literally a pair of simple 80s denim, slightly distressed jeans, and a unnamed, unbranded black crop top. These jeans are by a London-based designer named Catherine Hamnett. I don't know if Miss Catherine is still actively selling jeans, but if you go to her website, this is the first screen. So, I like Catherine. From what I have found, most of her jeans were produced in the 80s and the 90s. There are some pairs on Vestiaire Collective for way less than $25,000. But back to the subject at hand, I need you guys to really understand that just because you yourself you don't think that something is worth the amount that a vintage seller or auction house is charging, doesn't mean that the person who is buying it and willing to pay that price for it doesn't see the value in it. The biggest motivation for a lot of people, especially vintage collectors, around buying vintage pieces and those who don't mind paying for it, is the tie to emotions of nostalgia and the love of history. The sentimental value of owning a piece from the past, especially a past that individual really relates to or is heavily tied to, along with their personal desire of owning a piece of history that is personally important to them, is the driving force behind them not minding to pay this much for it. I have to assume this is why Kim Kardashian decided to buy the exact outfit that Janet wore in her If video. Kim Kardashian bought this from that same auction in 2021, and she ended up wearing it to the Janet Jackson concert, I believe, that same year. I think, from what I can see and research, I believe that the National African American History Museum in DC, which I plan to visit again in the spring, I've been once before, please go while you can, but I think they are the entity that purchased the jeans and the outfit from. But yeah, I just want you guys to understand, when it comes to vintage pricing, it's not just that resellers or auction houses are trying to price gouge you. I also want to say that the good thing about that auction is that a lot of it was given away to charity, benefiting children who are in poverty.